Hi, Frederick. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you see me okay?
Yeah, I can see you.
Awesome. So excited to be
Can you
here
hear
today.
me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great.
Hi, everyone.
Is it good? Sorry, should I connect the microphone? Yeah, connect and let's see. Okay, thank you very much, Manju. The team here is ready. I don't know from your end if you are ready for us.
I'm ready to get started. I was just waiting for the thumbs up. So we are
okay.
all good?
Yeah, we are good. So the team is ready. A little bit of introduction and we can proceed.
It sounds good. Thank you, Frederick. Thank you for inviting me. I am honored. I am talk about myself a little bit more later on, but I am in the East Coast, so it's morning, East Coast in the United States, so it's morning for me, but I believe it's afternoon for you. So good afternoon to everyone. Am I right? Good afternoon.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. I see a big crowd. Are all of you BC consultants? Are you end users or are you trying to learn BC? When I say BC, I mean Business Central.
So we have beginners, new and experts.
Okay, so my session is more for end users, but I can gear it towards consultants, and I'm sure you will also learn something from this. I have recorded some of this because I wasn't sure how the video audio will work. But Frederick, I may not be able to hear or see anyone, but please, jump in, ask questions at the end or whatever you need. I'll let you manage the session.
Okay, thank you very much. So if there's any question, I'll let you know. And all of us, we can see you. Very unfortunate you cannot see us, but we can see you.
I can see a bunch of people sitting on a table, but I cannot hear you very well. But I can hear Frederick very well. So thank you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. So I am going to get started. Again, thank you for this opportunity. Really excited that there are so many people interested in this. I am going to talk about my three favorite topics: Business Central, bank reconciliation, and Copilot. We are seeing a big shift in finance where automation is becoming not just a nice to have, but it's becoming a necessity. I hear from many of my clients that they're working longer hours to keep up with the demands of month-end closings and reconciliations. So for my end users, before we dive in, right, how many of you have used BC for bank reconciliations? If you haven't, that's okay.
I have 2 or 3 people, so they have used it, yeah.
Yeah. So my goal is to help you discover new ways to make your reconciliation easier and more efficient, and especially using Copilot, right? That's the buzzword. So if you haven't, don't worry, you will still find some of these ideas helpful, and automation is becoming essential in finance. So I will walk you through some best practices also. So the agenda for today is that I will try to cover the key areas: the challenges in manual bank reconciliation, how to set up a bank import, automating reconciliation with Copilot, handling discrepancies and matching rules, and then I'll talk about some reporting and auditing that is available in Business Central, and best practices for bank reconciliation. By the end of the session, you'll understand how to do bank recs in BC. You'll know how to import and manage bank statements. And most importantly, you'll learn how to fully utilize Copilot to automate this process. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the end. And if you want to discuss anything, I'm always available to chat. So my name is Manjula Dhupati. This is not my first introduction to Ghana. I live in a state called North Carolina, which has in a town called Davidson, and which has a college called Davidson College, which has a lot of international students. So I have an international host student 2 years ago from Ghana. Her name is Nadia Bey. And she has been introducing me to the food in Ghana. I love it. And to the culture and to the history of Ghana. So I'm really looking forward. I wish I could come, but she has been. So this is like not my first introduction, but she's like, we have a Ghanaian restaurant here in North Carolina, and she's taken me there. And I love the food. That's all I have to say. That's my best first introduction to Ghana, and I love it.
Thank you.
I have 10 plus years of experience in NAV. NAV is the on-prem version of Business Central. It was before BC, right? And it's been all at the same company, Velasio. My experience has been with end-to-end implementation, right from requirements gathering. I do the training, I do the FDDs, the design documents, I do go-live support, I do project management, and then we hand it over to support. So I have experience across all facets. Right from, I'm not going to say how old I am, but right from NAV 2009, which was the initial on-prem version of Business Central, to now to BC. So what is bank recs? Let's start with the basics. Bank reconciliation is basically the process of matching transactions that the bank sends, right? So your bank has a statement, there is a bank statement. Your ERP system, which is Business Central, I'm going to admit Phil. Okay, he's there. Your ERP system, which is Business Central, has some bank ledger entries that are created by posting transactions. Posting transactions is basically the process where you finalize, right? You create your sales invoices, your purchase documents, you create your journal entries, and you post them. Right, posting is like you're finalizing it, it hits the ledger. So all these ledger entries are created by posting transactions. And all you're doing is the bank gives a statement, you have your ledger entries, and you're trying to match them. If it matches, it's all good, right? We have a reconciled statement, you close your books, right? You end it. The reality is that in most cases, it may not match. You have to add some journal entries to make sure it matches. Then you reconcile your statement and you close your books, right? So in like short, right, the very basics. This is basically what bank reconciliation is in any system, right? And we have Business Central because that is our ERP. And we have the big Copilot because I'm going to show you how to do this a little automatically with Copilot, right? A lot of the people here, even in the United States, still do this bank reconciliation process manually. And it's okay. There is absolutely no judgment, right? That's what they're used to. They do it. But Copilot will definitely make the process faster. So if you do manual reconciliation, it can be a pain. It is time consuming. There is a high risk of errors. And managing large volumes of transactions is tough. If there is something missing or if there is a fraud and the transactions are not thoroughly reconciled, then you have to go back again. And that's a headache, right? That causes a headache later on. That is why automation is so important. I had a client who used spreadsheets for reconciliation. So they had Excel spreadsheets and they had hundreds of transactions per day. And the finance team spent hours manually reconciling each and every line in their spreadsheet. Each month, they would fall behind just because of the sheer volume, right? So much. Once they adopted Business Central, they reduced their reconciliation time by about 70%, and they could focus their time on more strategic work. I don't know if you've experienced something similar with your manual process, but think about how much time and energy your team can save with automation. It's just a lot of time. Now, has anyone seen BC? Frederick? Have you
yes.
guys? Yes.
Yes.
So if people are like me and you're like, you see BC, and I'll share my screen very quickly, you are curious and you want to go in, and Business Central has a Cronus environment, which is your play environment or your sandbox. It has some test data. And I am going to just show you BC in a minute. I'm going to change over to my screen and I'm going to show Business Central, right? So you have probably been in the Cronus environment, which has a couple of, and I think you've probably gone to my settings and you are probably an accountant or a business manager. This is the screen that you're used to seeing when it gets ready, right? This is the screen that you're used to seeing.
Sure.
You may have gone and said, let me find out what bank reconciliation is, right? So you use the magnifying glass, which is the search feature in BC, and you'll say, I want to know what bank reconciliation is because I'm going to attend a training session, I'm going to go see a demo, or Microsoft is talking a lot about it, right? So I'm going to go to bank account reconciliation. Microsoft provides some sample data. So this is a sample company. They have sample customers, sample vendors. They also provide some sample data, right? So there is a checking account. There are some, bank statement lines here, and these are your bank ledger entries, right? So there is sample data, and these two match, right? 274390, this matches, and this is the sum, right? So it's providing some sample data if you want to play, right? Which is nice. They like it. But if you hit this reconcile button, okay, and it's going to give you a really, and I'm saying I want to reconcile to the checking, it gives you a really long message, very informative. But basically it's saying that you need to set up a bank statement format, right? It's very long. You must specify a bank statement import format. It's 5 lines like pages it is, but basically you need to set up a bank account, right? A format. So Microsoft kind of helps, right? It does all this, but it's like if you want to reconcile, and I don't know if anyone else has been curious and clicked it, right? You really can't do much. Yes, there is a reconcile button. Yes, it is bank account recs. Yes, you can go click on it, but really can't do much, right? So it doesn't help you. So I am going to show you how to get past this message, okay? Has anyone used data exchange definitions?
Yes.
If you have, okay. So this is much easier. I'm just trying to put it. This is much, much easier than that. Much easier, right? So this gives you this long format, right? This is what we saw, right? But it basically says you need to have a bank account statement format set up, okay? Now, there are some third-party ISVs that are available in the US. I don't know about Ghana, but they are available that lets you connect directly to the bank, right? So it's you have an OTP or an authorized this, you can connect. It's like you connect to your personal account. I connect directly to the bank, right? And I will use Yavrio, or I will use Bank Feed, or I will use Yardley, and it pulls the transactions in, right? So you have a third-party tool, and I can just say connect directly to the bank. So if I go to my bank account, and I know I'm switching between BC and can't type. If I go to my bank account, okay, and I can connect it directly to the bank, okay? But here, connect to the bank, and you just go next, 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 and you enter your user ID and password, and it'll let you do that, okay? But a lot of the people are hesitant to connect directly to the bank. A lot of the people are still not sure about Business Central and putting in your password, and you're giving it to the ERP system, okay? I will also say that for certain banks, right, some banks, it works very seamlessly. For some banks, it doesn't work and it requires a lot of setup. So in the US, we have Bank of America. We have something called Wells Fargo. For those two banks, it works great. For the other banks, you have to go back, you have to explain to them. So it does, if it works perfectly. If it doesn't work, it requires a little bit of tweaking. So what I'm going to show you is to connect it with a direct. So you get a CSV file or an Excel file from the bank. You go to your bank, you download a statement. Okay, so you do not have to connect directly to the bank. You're just manually importing your bank statements. Okay, and this is kind of where I talked about data exchange definition. This is so much easier. Your bank statement needs it to be in a .csv, which is basically an Excel file, right? At a .csv. Your date for US, right? I use month, day, YY. Now, I don't know if HANA uses the day, month, year format. I'm assuming that's what it does, correct?
We use more day, month, and year.
Right, the day, month, year format, right? So you will have to make sure that it is in that format, whatever is in the format of your computer, right? So India also uses day, month, year. I think most of the world except US and I think Burma we put the month before. Don't ask me why. But we try to complicate things. But most of the world uses day, month, year. So you should use that format. It should have a description and it should have an amount field. Now in the US, most banks have two separate fields. One is a withdrawals, right? So what you're taking out, which is your negative, and one is your deposits, which is a positive, right? BC does not care about these two fields. BC needs the amount field, which is the deposits minus withdrawal. So what you put in the bank minus what you take out, subtract what you take out, right? So you basically need three. You can have more fields. If the bank gives you more information, you can have it. But basically, when you download the bank file, right, from the bank account, you log into your bank account, you download a file. It has to be a CSV, which is text or Excel. It needs to have a date, it needs to have a description, and it needs to have an amount. Once you have that, you're going to go click on your bank export import setup. And then go to actions and click on the bank statement file format wizard. Now this is a wizard. A wizard means that Microsoft tells you to go next, 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 right? It's trying to help you and it tries to do that. So you don't need to do a lot. You basically hit next. And then you upload the bank statement that I showed in the previous, right? So it has to have a date, right? Your day, month, year. It has to have a description and it needs to have an amount. You're going to drag that file and upload it. And then it's going to say bank statement successfully uploaded, right? So once you upload it, it says it's successfully uploaded because it has the fields. And then think of it like Excel, right? If there is a header line, which there was a header line, right? It had withdrawals, deposits. I'll go back a couple of steps, right? So I'll just go back. Right, there is a header line here, right? So you want to skip that line. If you have two header lines or if you have a blank line and then a header line, you would put two here, but in this case it's one, right? So it's skipping this line and then it is separating this based on the comma, right? So the first column is the date, then there is the amount, and then the middle column is the description, right? So mobile deposit, XXX53, all this, that it separates into a description, right? So it knows that there is a date, a description, a withdrawals, a deposits, and an amount. It doesn't do anything with the withdrawals and deposits. It just uses the amount, but it sees this, right? So it sees a 175. This is the blank or zero, right? Your column separator is a comma. There are 5 columns: date, description, withdrawal, deposits, and amount. And your date format here, right? That's what it is. You can change it. For you, it'll be day, month, year, right? And your decimal separator is a dot, right? You can specify all this. You can click on the drop down and you can specify this, right? You can change it. But it knows, right? If you do not like it, you can change it. But I did not have to change anything because it knows in the system that this is what it is, right? But if you don't like anything, you can change this to 2. You can change this to different, and you can change this. Any questions? Sorry, I hear a little bit of background. Any questions?
Any questions from the team? Okay. No.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Follow it. Yeah.
So in the end, it gives you a preview, right? It says this is the date, this is the transaction amount, and this is the description. And you can give it a name, right? I could call it Manjula, or I say checking because it's the checking account. I could call it bank rec. Now, if you have multiple banks, right? If you have 3 checking banks, or if you have a bank and you have an investment, right, that gives you download a deposit. I don't know if you have any investment companies, right, where you're downloading a statement from them. Or if you have a credit card that you're setting up as a bank, right, and you're downloading a statement from them and you pay the credit card, right? So the credit card is set up. So if you have a credit card statement, you can set up multiple formats. You can have one for your bank. You can have one for checking 1, checking 2. You can have credit card 1. You can have, I don't know, JD Vance, whatever, any investment banking that you're putting your savings in or your investment, and you can download that. So you can have multiple formats, and it's probably will take you less time for you to do it because you've used BC than that I'm taking to explain it to you, because I am going through it in very much detail, right? Remember, this is all set up, right? So Microsoft, because this is a wizard and because it's a BC wizard, this is all set up. You can change it if you want to, right? By clicking the drop down or going in and changing it, but this is all set up. You do not have to do anything, right? So it probably will take you less than 5 minutes, and I probably spent 5 minutes explaining it, right? So it tells you this is the preview. If you don't like it, you can hit back and change the preview. I like it, I'll keep it, and I can hit finish. Okay, and then you can do this for your second bank statement or your credit card, right? Any financial institution that gives you a statement which at least has these 3 fields, right? You can use a credit card, you can use an investment bank, you can use multiple checking accounts. If your company uses 2 or 3 checking accounts, you can use all those. Okay. Now, how does Copilot help this, right? So Copilot, this is where things get exciting, and it's a game changer. It uses AI to automatically match your bank statement lines that are there that we just got with your ledger entries. Copilot learns from your actions. It gets better over time. So yes, maybe the first time you have to show it, right? But you can save it and you can say next time use this. So it automatically matches your bank statement lines with your ledger entries. And of course, it's, generative AI, it's Gen AI. So you can continue to use it. The more you use it, it understands your habits. It knows what chart of accounts to use, and you can save it, and it makes your reconciliation process easier going forward. Now, let's see how it works. I am going to share a video. Frederick, let me know if you cannot see it or cannot hear it. But basically, this video will show you how to reduce a lot of extra work, and it cuts down bank recs to minutes or less.
So, is there a sound to it?
There is a sound to it. Hold on. Let me stop sharing and reshare. Maybe that will help.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, Frederick, let me know if you hear the sound now.
Copilot works for bank.
Yeah, we can hear it now.
Microsoft has provided us some sample data in Business Central to understand how Copilot works for bank account recs. You can access the sample data by going to Cash Management, Bank Account Reconciliation, and you will see a list page containing 1 line. You can, of course, click Reconcile here with the Copilot logo. What I am going to do is open up that page and click Reconcile with Copilot. Before I do that, let's look at the bank account ledger entries. The first line seems like a simple match. The transaction date is the same, 1/18, and the amount is the same, 2,743.90. Using the built-in Business Central algorithm, it would be automatically matched. Now let's look at the other two lines. The second line has the same statement amount of 4,115.85, but the transaction dates are different. The third bank statement line for 10,975.60 is actually the sum of the third and fourth lines in the bank account ledger entries. Let's see if Copilot can figure out what we can do. I'm going to click Reconcile with Copilot. That uses the Business Central algorithm as well as it calls Copilot. So it auto-matched the first line, but it also matched the other two lines. The second line, it says that the transaction date is 121 and the dates are different, but it matched it. And the third one, it takes one and it applies it to multiple entries. I can drill down to look at the two entries that it is applied to, deposit 4 and deposit 3. I'm going to click back on. Now I can decide to keep it or discard it. I'm good with what Copilot has proposed, so I am going to keep it. Now you will see that there are matches, everything's green, right? So the bank statement lines have matched with the bank account ledger entries. There is a difference of 0, and so I can post this. And it's as simple as that, right? I've posted it, I open the bank account statement, and I know what's happened. This is my second level of reconciling and validation.
So we see that if you do your regular Business Central auto matching, right, it just matches one line. That is perfect, right? The number matches, the date matches, the amount matches. The reality is that doesn't happen, right? Sometimes you post a check 2 days later, the bank statement shows something 2 days later, right? You've put it in your BC ERP system maybe today, but tomorrow and day after are holidays. So you actually are, it's sorry, Frederick. Hi, Frederick.
There's a question here.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, madam. I just want to know the Copilot that you have in the BC. Is it the paid version or it just comes?
It comes in BC. It's not paid.
It comes in basic.
It's the free version that comes with Business Central.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So what I am trying to show, so it is there in Business Central. You do not need to have a separate license for it. You do not need to pay any extra. This is part of the Business Central Copilot that Microsoft is trying to expand. But what you will see is previously, right, again, I'm saying I'm old, but previously, whenever you tried to do a bank account rec, BC would just match if it's perfect, right? If the amount matched exactly to the penny, right? And I know you don't use pennies and dollars, but if it matched exactly, the date matched exactly. With Copilot, you have a little bit of a tolerance, right? So even if the dates are off and you can set those tolerances, right? It matches. If you had two accounts, right? So they did a deposit for one, right? So you're saying it's 10,000, but it's actually into two deposits, right? So Copilot matches all that. So it makes your bank account reconciliation so much more. All you need to do is click the button which says reconcile with Copilot. That's all you need to do. It does it automatically for you, right? Now I'll walk through another scenario. Right, so this is one. I'm going to walk through another scenario, which is a little bit more, right? This is textbook perfect. I've set this up. This is the sample data that Microsoft has given. The reality is there may be some more challenges, right? So I'm going to walk through that too. Any questions before I go through that?
Any questions? Yeah, there's a question.
Yeah.
There's a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want to find out, can the BC be used by individual or enterprise reconciliation?
Frederick, can you repeat that question, please?
Just want to find out, can the BC be used by individuals, right, or enterprise reconciliation? So that's something you have part of enterprise reconciliation to be. and you set in a individual point of view. Can you use a BC for that way?
Sorry. Can you put the question in the chat if you don't mind? Can you put the question in the chat?
You speak up. I'm sure your voice is low. Speak up.
Please, can you hear me? Is it better now?
Something wrong?
I can hear parts of it. I cannot hear the whole question.
Okay, so is it better now? I just want to find out, can the BC be used by individual for an enterprise record?
Can you use BC for an enterprise reconciliation?
Yes.
Yes. And I've just put 5 lines or 7 lines, right? Now you can do the same this with hundreds of lines. I will show you another example where there is a bank fee or there is a recurring journal entry like a water bill or a rent, right? That the bank, you don't put it, right? You're not creating it, and I will show you how to do that. So yes, you can have, I have clients who use the BC Bank Rec with Copilot for hundreds of lines. Now I will talk about best practices. You do not want to wait till month end to reconcile. You probably want to do like weekly or bi-weekly reconciliation, but yes, you can use it for enterprise reconciliations. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it has.
Yes, we are good.
We are good. All right. Any
Yeah,
more
there's another question.
Yes.
It's slightly different, but so I know this is slightly different from sales, dynamic sales. So I know this is slightly different from dynamic sales. Can we implement this and Copilot help bank reconciliation for dynamic sales?
You want to implement BC with dynamic SIDS?
No, I'm saying I know we are talking about bank reconciliation using BC, yeah, or using Copilot to help you do bank reconciliation. Maybe this is not the right time to ask, but I'm saying if you are using dynamic sales, Dynamics 365 sales, can you implement sales? Can you use Copilot to help you in your bank reconciliation?
So I am the Business Central expert, but I will tell you that Microsoft is putting Copilot in every aspect of their software, right? So whether it's Dynamics SIDS, whether it's FNO, whether it's CE, whether it is, Teams, right? Now you have Copilot, a paid version that summarizes and provides you nice notes and provides you to tasks. So Microsoft is pushing Copilot. I don't know enough about the other software, but I would say that, generally Microsoft is pushing Copilot and trying to get Copilot into every software that they have. And that may not give you the answer, but that's what I would say. I don't want to speak on another software, but I know Microsoft is pushing Copilot very, very strongly. If you've gone to Directions or you've attended any Microsoft summit or any seminar, right, they're pushing Copilot a lot.
Okay, thank you very much, Manjula. It's clear.
Okay, all right. I'm going to go and talk about another video. This is my second and final video, and then I will again pause for questions, if that's okay, Frederick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you in this video how to streamline the posting process. Okay, we are going to talk about how it will suggest an appropriate GL account. And with each reconciliation, it gets smarter and smarter. That means over time, it will require even less manual intervention. So Copilot doesn't get old and forgetful like me. That's what I say. It just gets smarter as it gets used more. So you will see that there is a water bill and a bank fee from the bank statement, right? I'll just show you before I start the video. We did not, right, create a journal entry or create an invoice or post it for a bank fee, right? The bank fee got charged, right? Because either we were forgetful and old, we didn't charge, pay it in time, or our balance was low or whatever, or it's just a monthly bank fee, right? And we did not think about it when we created in BC any sales invoices, any invoices, purchase invoices, or even journal entries, right? So it's not there. Again, there is another water bill, which is a recurring bill, right, that we did not create in BC. We did not create an invoice or a journal entry for it, right? But the bank statement that you download from the bank says that you have paid this water bill and this bank fee. And this video is going to show you how BC handles that, how Copilot in BC handles that. Frederick, let me know if you can't hear.
Where we have
We can hear.
additional lines. One for a water bill that is automatically paid, and the second for a bank fee. We are going to use Copilot to reconcile, and you will see that there are 3 lines matched automatically. We're going to keep these lines, and then you can see that the green visually indicates the lines that are matched. You will notice that the 3rd line in the bank statement is matched to the last 2 lines on the bank account ledger entry, but there are no ledger entries for water bill or the bank fee. I am going to go to show and just say show non-matched. It shows the unmatched entries, and then I'm going to select these entries, go to the Copilot icon and post the difference to GL account. This allows Copilot to suggest some payments where the water bill can be posted against, or the bank fee. In this case, it's suggesting account 60240 for water and sewerage for property. I'm good with that. In this case, it's the banking fees. I'm good with that. If you do not like the account that is suggested by Copilot, you can click on it. It opens the GL account and you can pick whichever account you want. In this case, I'm just going to cancel because I like what Copilot has suggested. You can also click on the save, so it is saved for future entries and future reconciliations. Similarly, I'm going to click save here and it just saves it for future entries. I am going to pick just going to pick a general journal and the monthly batch in this case, and I am going to keep it. In this case, what Copilot is doing is creating a transaction for these 2 lines and posting it to the ledger entries. I'm going to keep it. It goes and it auto posts it. Now you will see that my non-matched entries are blank. When I click show all, there is an auto payment for water bill and a bank fee. You can see the matching. The difference is 0, and I can go ahead and post.
So in this slide, Copilot is not only suggesting a GL account based on the description, right? So if you had a description called water, it says, oh, the water bill should go to the GL account of water, sewerage, property. The bank fee should go to the account called fees, right? So it not only suggests it, sometimes you may not like the suggestion. Copilot is not perfect, right? If you do not like it, you can change it. You can click and you can change and you can pick another account. But the best thing is that you can save it. So next month, if you get a bank fee, or the month after that, if you get a bank fee or a water bill, it uses those words, the description, water bill or bank fee, and it says, last month I used this account. This was what it was saved to. So you do not have to do the reconcile transfer to GL account. It will auto match it. So the next time you use it, it automatically knows. So you do not have to do it like reconcile transfer to GL account. So the saving time, right? How does Copilot save time? It creates a journal entry for water bill and bank fee, the G0001, right? It creates a journal entry so that now you have a journal entry, like a ledger entry, and you have your bank statement line and it can match. It picks the GL account. This, in my experience, works 60–70% of the time. Sometimes it does pick the wrong GL account if the description is not very informative. For the purposes of this example, I put the word water bill. It may not say that. It may say whatever is your utility, this bill. But if you don't like it, you can change it. You can save it, and then you can use it. So the third way it saves is that you can save it, And for future monthly reconciliations, it goes and picks that same GL account. And I think the third one is the most time saving and the most helpful, right? So yes, right, you can reconcile. Yes, it creates a GL entry, right? So it automatically creates these two, water bill and bank fee, right? These were not there in your bank account ledger entries. You had not made a payment to them because you had forgotten about them or you didn't know that you had a bank fee, but it creates a journal entry. It posts it, right? It does all this from the same screen. You do not have to go somewhere else. It picks the GL account and then it saves it. The most important, it saves it for future. So if you have anything else, again, coming back in your bank statement the next month, the next year, anytime with these words, bank fee or water bill with this description, it doesn't have to have the full description. Even if it has water, it'll understand that it needs to go to that GL account, right? Or if it says bank fee. Questions?
Questions?
How cool is that? First of all, I need like a, is this cool or not?
Feedback from the, very cool. The feedback is very cool. Question, yeah.
So, okay. I think doing your matching, cross matching, first level, second level report, your spreadsheet is quite hectic sometimes. Right? And I think with the BC, the interface is quite similar. So I'm trying to understand the whole process from first to end of the whole BC process. But I just want to find out, in importing your CSV files into your BC dashboard, right, and then doing the first level and the second level reconciliation, how are you able to identify payments or transactions that have not been paid by a client, right? And then doing or importing your CSV file from the bank, and then being able to transfer all those data into your setup. I just want to find out how will you be able to see a transaction that has not been cleared or paid by a customer or something.
I think I understood your question. So I will say that the first level of reconciliation, which is just BC, is it would just match the first line, right? The date matches, right? The amount matches. And it would just, if you're doing BC without Copilot, right? The first level, you just say bank and reconcile. It would just match the first line, right? And you know that it is matched because it is green. You can also go look, and I can show you, you can go and you can look and it will tell you, you can show matched, you can show unmatched, right? If you're doing the second level, which is just Copilot, right? Copilot, there are levels of Copilot. What Copilot does in the first level, which I showed you in the last video, is even if the date is off, right? This is 118, this is 121, it'll match it because the amount is the same. And it says spring event and it says spring event something, right? So it looks at the description and it matches it even if the dates are off. So there is a tolerance that is set for dates. It also matches the deposits, right? The 10,900, it says the date is the same. In your bank, it shows as one deposit. But in BC, you had two separate lines. But it says if I sum this up, it matches, right? So that's the third thing. What Copilot does is take it one step further and create the journal entries for you and match it, right? So it does, instead of you manually, so from a customer, and I'll show you one more thing, right? But you know that it is matched because it is green. If it is not matched, it stays black or whatever, right? So you just click, basically it's clicking a button, right? You click a button, reconcile, or you click it, it's all green. Green means it's matched. Green means it's good, right? The second level or the third level, actually, with Copilot, second level of Copilot or the third level is Copilot creates these journal entries for you, posts the journal entry. So not only does it create a journal entry, the journal entry stays. I had a general journal and a monthly batch. right? I created that journal entry. I posted that journal entry. So we get these posted ledger entries, and then you can match it. So that's the third level. So usually customers that I know don't go to that, right? And I'll talk about that. They just do the first level of thing. They say, again, when they're starting to use it, right? They want to just use the 3 features, and they will slowly get to posting it because they are hesitant to trust the system. But I tell the customer that, hey, you can save this, right? You can pick and you can save it. And I will show you an alternative method for the third level of reconciliation. But
hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so a question.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, he's asking a question, please.
Assuming the batch, the journal, right? Yes, one of the ways.
Anju, did you get a question?
I did not get the question. I'm hearing an echo.
Is it better now?
It is better now.
So I'm asking, I'm actually want to transfer to the journal, and you use it sorry.
Yeah, hello?
Hello?
Did you? Okay, sorry. Let's repeat the question again.
Sorry.
The question.
He's repeating the question. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
All right, so I'm asking, after doing the math in how transactions, which are not on your cash book, right? And you use your Copilot, and you transfer the done at the batch. I wanted to find out if there's a workflow on the batch, would the Copilot treat the workflow and post the transaction?
If there is already a batch, Copilot would look at it and post the transaction. So the next time I do not have to create a batch. This was the first time I did it. So I picked this batch, this journal, but the next time it's already there. Copilot would look at it and post. Is that the question?
I wanted to find out that on the batch where you post the transaction, right? The journal batch. Right, where you post, you may have approvals on it. It's supposed to go for approval before you post.
So can you hold on to that question? Because I'm going to show you something and then we'll come back to that question. Is that okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Manjula,
I do want to show you the next thing, and then I think that may or may not answer your question, but I want to get to the next thing. So let me move on.
Let's look at another scenario.
Okay. So there are a lot of people who are hesitant about AI suggesting financial postings, right? They may not want to have it post directly. I don't know if your question is related to that. But AI complements work, right? It doesn't replace it. You still maintain control. So what you can do is click on this transfer to general journal, right? It'll take it, it'll transfer. You pick your journal. I pick general and monthly, but you can pick anything else. You pick your journal, right? It'll go to your general journal. Everyone knows the screen, right? If you've used BC, you know the screen. You put in your account number, right? You have your balancing account number, right? You set all that up, right? So if you do not want to have Copilot suggest it, all you're doing is clicking on this transfer to general journal. It takes these 2 lines, right? I've selected these 2 lines and I'm saying I do not want, this is the manual Copilot, right? It's not really Copilot. It says which journal and I say general monthly. Now, because I used it last, right? It defaults, I don't have to pick it, right? All I'm doing with this is I'm not using Copilot to create the journal entry to post it. I am just saying move this to a journal. It goes to the journal. You have a general journal, you create it, you manually do it, you post it. Now remember, with this option, there is no save. So the next month, if there is a water bill or there is a bank fee, you will again need to do a transfer to general journal, and you will again need to do this. But some people are hesitant about using this, right? That's why we are doing it. So if people still want to use a semi-manual option, this exists, right? This exists, and you can just, it helps because instead of manually creating journal lines, it takes this, you click a button and it goes to the next one, right? So it takes you to a general journal. Don't know if your question was related to that. So I will pause and I will make sure I understand your question and then answer it before moving on.
Does that answer our question?
No.
Okay.
Kind of, maybe not.
Maybe rephrasing the question again.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
So this is my PC. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so the question again.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yes. So can you go back to the journal, the batch? Can you show that one? So I show you something. Can you go back to the journal, the batch? Okay.
To the general journal batch?
Yes.
Okay. And I have monthly many batches, but okay.
Okay, so in our space, normally whenever you create a transaction on your batch, right? It goes for an approval. You send it for approval for someone to make your superior to approve it before you post it into your ledgers.
Then it has to go through the approval process. It will not. So I don't have an approval in my demo because it's easier. But if there is an approval, it would go there, it would get approved, and then it would get posted.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, so it still follows, even if it's Copilot, it still follows all the workflows and everything that is set up. So the posting would be on hold. All right.
Yeah.
Let me move. Sorry.
We can proceed.
Okay. Let me move on to reporting, right? Let's talk about audit season, right? Everyone's favorite season. During and after reconciliation, BC allows you to generate reports, right? This is great for transparency. It helps during audits. So I think there was a question of how do I know it's matched, right? You can show non-matched. You can show any reversed entries, right? So if you have matched it and then you have reversed it, you can hide reversed entries. So there are a lot of reports for matching and unmatching or any adjustments made during the reconciliation process. These reports can also be customized. So if you have a developer, you can change the report if you want, right? You can choose to filter the report by the date, by the amount, by the status. You can print outstanding transactions in your bank account reconciliation test report and in your bank account statement. So anything that's outstanding, you can see. And like every BC report, you can export it to Excel. You can also export it to PDF, but I don't know anybody who really likes it in PDF unless you want to send it to someone or show it. But if you do it in Excel, then you can do all your Excel things, right? So like any other BC report, you can put it in Excel and then you can do your stuff, right? And then this is a bank account statement, right? So this is a report and it says this is all that has reconciled. That's kind of where it is. Now, let me talk about some best practices. Okay. First, perform all your reconciliations regularly. I know it takes time, right? You have hundreds of transactions, but with Copilot, it makes it easier. So try to do it, if not on a daily, at least a weekly basis. Don't wait till month end to get caught, right? And the errors don't pile up. If you have an error and you do it weekly or bi-weekly, then those errors or discrepancies are caught earlier. Use the same bank statement, right? The same format. Sometimes banks change their format and you are doing the process and you're wondering what happened. They don't tell you. So make sure the CSV format or the bank statement format is the same because you don't have to set it up and there is less manual intervention. And then utilize Business Central's Copilot, right? You can do auto matching. Always review, right? Human pair of eyes is more, you are used to seeing the numbers, you make less errors, so always review. Do not magically use Copilot and expect it to solve everything. It will solve most of your problems, but it does not solve everything. But it helps you catch errors, right? It's another pair of eyes, and it can help a small issue from becoming a big snowball, right? Becoming into a major problem at the end of the quarter. So use Copilot effectively, but still do your manual, check. You have tolerance levels that you can set up, right? Like you can set up a rounding difference with Copilot. You can set that up and say, hey, it's there, right? Copilot by default has a 0.01, but you can change it to like $1 or anything, and you can adjust it. You can review your outstanding transactions, the reports that you print. You have your audit trails, and then use Copilot's features, right? Save it so that you don't have to set that up again. And then I have thank you. I hope this session has helped you. Thank you, Frederick. Hope this session has given you a clearer idea of using Copilot for bank reconciliations. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can ask any questions. But I did want to share some helpful links if you have additional information. And Frederick, I can share this slide with you if you think that will be helpful, or I can just share these links with you.
Yeah, very helpful.
Okay, I'm happy to share the slides with you.
Sure.
And that slide will have the link if you want to share that with everyone else. But those links are just generally, if you want more questions than what I could answer, these are Microsoft Learn links that will teach you more about Copilot and bank reconciliation.
Okay. We appreciate the link. Thank you very much. Any question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Any question? Remarks? Jeremy.
No. Hopefully I haven't put you to sleep. Hopefully you'll actually liked it. So what do you think? Just raise of hands or just a shout?
Yes, raise your hand. What do you think? You want to see? The camera is really on this side. So.
Hi.
Hi.
So
Manjula.
Yeah, I hope you liked what I showed you. I will share the slides with Frederick. I hope this interests you in Copilot. And if you have any further questions, you can email me, LinkedIn me, whatever. And I'm happy to sit and talk more about Copilot for sales lines or for anything else in Business Central too. And maybe next time, now that I know that the internet is good, next time I'll actually do like a presentation and walk you through it instead of a video.
Demonstration. Thank you very much for the presentation. I just have a question. I just need your advice on something. So a client of ours enjoys using bank reconciliation. So what they do is instead of doing the daily entries, he would then import his bank statement with CSV, send it into the reconciliation window, and then transfer it to journal. And then with that, he then selects the account against the bank. He's doing very well, but I just wanted to find out, from your experience, is that a very safe route? He's enjoying it though, but do we have any future implications you have to watch out for based on your years of experience?
I would say that safe or unsafe is really based on what the user, as long as they have a second level, right? Some person watching it, and Copilot will help make it more safer because it's providing that second pair of eyes, right? I would say that they need to, so when their auditor comes, right, do they run into any issues with this?
So far, no.
So good. I'm not sure she can hear you.
I cannot.
No. So far, they don't have any issues. They've not had any issues.
Then I think they're good. I would say use Copilot because the save feature, right, to suggest the journal. So that way it saves them time. They don't have to create the journal entries. Copilot will do that for you. And there's less room for manual error is what I would say.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I know I'm taking other people's. I know you have a packed agenda. It's a full agenda. So I know I'm running over. So thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Frederick. And have a good rest of your session.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Manju, for your time. At least, yeah. Thank you very much and bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.